Hi everyone. So I've been using Pixel 8 for a couple of days now, and before that I was using iPhone 15. They are both entry-level flagship from Apple and Google, and they are one of the few compact flagship phone available right now, which I really love, and you know that I don't like the giant phones. So let's talk about them. I'll start with the build and design. I know it's a personal preference, but I actually like how Pixel 8 looks, and I actually like how iPhone 15 feels. I really like this matte texture because it doesn't get any scratches. I've been using this for past 1 month. There are no scratches. This is a glossy back, which I do not like, and it started getting scratches after 1 day. So I had to get a case for it. The problem with the cases is that you cannot get official cases very easily. So in India, I could not get an official case. So I purchased this cheaper one if waiting that maybe I will get an official case here. Another thing I like about iPhone 15 that you get MagSafe, and that's a really good thing because I have MagSafe accessories and the magnets really help. I can easily use a wallet behind it, which is kind of missing here, and I think it should be standard. But when it comes to the color, I really like Pixel 8 because you can at least see a color. This is blue, but it basically looks white. So like it's up to you. For me, looks goes to this, but the in-hand feel, and if I want to use a phone without a case, I would choose iPhone 15. If I just talk about the display, I think Pixel 8 wins here because it's a high refresh rate display. They both can go up to 2000 nits peak brightness, but the refresh rate takes a win here. But if you just want to watch content and that's something that is your only priority, iPhone 14 can be a good display as well because it supports Dolby Vision. And when it comes to speaker, I think I prefer the iPhone 15 speaker much better. So let me give you an example. The one area where I think iPhone 15 has no competition when it comes to Pixel 8 is going to be the processing power. So A16 Bionic in iPhone 15 is way faster than Tencent G3. In the day-to-day life, when you're just opening application like Twitter, it will be a like split millisecond of difference, but that's it. But when it comes to editing the photos or something that you do intensive, the Pixel 8 is going to feel a slightly bit smaller. So let me just open Photos app. I've taken a lot of pictures today, so let me just open a single picture. I really like this picture. Let me see if I can find the success here. So yeah, this is a picture. So I just click on the edit button of them together, it comes in the editing mode right away. It takes a lot of time. And if you want to do some sort of operation over it, it is going to take so much time. Even if I just click on cancel, that's one another problem. If you want to do anything on this or the AI operation, like let's suppose this photo needs to be backed up on the cloud. Before that, you can't do anything about it. And that is going to be with the AI features like Magic Eraser and everything like that. So let me just press cancel. Yeah, at least this was faster at this time, but sometimes it's going to take a lot of time, and if your internet is slow, this is going to keep on loading. So that's one thing you need to think about. The processing power of this phone is much faster, so it does everything locally. For Google, you need to upload them to the cloud to have those AI features. The one thing where Pixel 8 has an edge is going to be the transfer speed. This is USB 3.2 and this is USB 2.0. But this phone supports display out, but Pixel 8 doesn't. But if you are someone who's going to connect to the display and a controller to a phone and play games, you can actually do that with iPhone 15, but you cannot do it with Pixel 8. Also, the internal storage is faster on iPhone 15. The Pixel phones are not great when it comes to network, at least in India. So I was using my Pixel 8 on 5G and I was not getting any sort of signal. I was using Geo, and I know that's an issue with the Geo itself, but when I was using that on my iPhone 15, it was better. And on 5G, it heats up more, so it eats more battery. So I ended up switching to 4G. That's the compromise I'm making. But when you spend so much money on a phone, do you really want to do that? On Pixel 8 on 5G, I usually get around 4.5 hours to 5 hours with mixed usage. When I switched to 4G, I was getting around 6 hours. But on my iPhone 15, even on 5G, I was usually getting around 8 to 9 hours in the whole day. Yes, I'm not a heavy user, I'm a moderate user. So the iPhone easily lasts me around 2 days compared to Pixel 8, which I have to charge like every day, which is fine for me because I'm not a heavy user. But for a heavy user, this is not going to last full day. If we talk about the biometrics, you can get the Face ID on iPhone and it works really good like any other iPhone. With Pixel, you can get the optical fingerprint. It's an ultrasonic, so it's not as fast. Sometimes it takes time, and you get the 2D face unlock. But with the new Titan chip and security, you can use that for payments now. So that's a good thing. You have more option here, but this is going to be a little bit more secure. If it was ultrasonic, I would have recommended this, but for now, I think this is going to be a little bit more secure. And if I talk about the camera setup on both of them are basically similar, one primary and one ultra wide. And this time, Apple has done a great job with the cameras with iPhone 15 series, and which I think is a really good thing because Pixel have been my favorite camera for a long time, but now I think they can compete neck to neck. And they have also great 2x camera as well, which I'm going to talk about in details. But I would suggest you to watch this video on a bigger screen because otherwise on a smaller screen, it's really hard to tell the difference. But I'll start with the video first. This is the video recording from iPhone 15 and Pixel 8. I'm recording on 4K 30 frames per second. They also support 4K 60, but as this video is going to be 4K 30, so this is the example. I'm walking. You can listen to the audio as well. Sorry for my eyes because it's sun. But yeah, this is how HDR works, as you can see behind me. So this is Pixel 8, iPhone 15. This is 4K 30 from the rear camera. This is ultra wide. This is how it's going to look. This is 1x and this is 2x. So as you can see the quality, I'm gonna switch to 1x because that's what a lot of people are going to use. So I'm walking right now so you can see the stabilization. You can see the HDR and everything around. So this is the sun. I can't see it, so you guys tell me which handle the sun better. But yeah, this is Pixel 8, iPhone 15. I think the Pixel has come so close to iPhone when it comes to video recording in daylight. There is a slight over sharpening which you won't see in iPhone, but it is much more stable and the color shift is also minimal. The last year I had an issue with over saturation as well, which I don't see here as well. In the night, there will be some focus breathing and stutters here and there when you're walking. It is still usable video, but when you compare it with iPhone 15, you will see more noise in the sky area. If I talk about the photos, I'll start with ultrawide first. At this point, it's hard to find a bad camera in this price range, especially in the daylight. Where iPhone has improved so much is going to be the HDR. Although it still crushes a lot of dark areas, but weirdly Pixel has either a lot of noise in those area or somehow it is going to mess up with the processing. I honestly have no idea what happened here. But the more pictures I took, the more impressed I am with the iPhone 15 series. I never expected it to come so close to the Pixel when it comes to HDR. Even in indoors, they both perform great. The major difference you're going to see between them is that the ultra wide is a little bit more wider on iPhone, and there is always going to be that cooler tone on Pixel and warmer tone on iPhones. But I feel like Pixel tries too hard when it comes to those warm or yellow lights and it tries to make it white, which actually changes the look of the scene itself. And sometimes you might like it, sometimes it's not pleasing at all. And actually, that also reflects on the skin tone as well. By the way, I feel like the portraits are much better on iPhone with the gradual blur. The one issue I have with the Pixel 8, because when you switch to the portrait camera, it is automatically going to be either 2x and then you can go to 1.5x, but there is no option to go back to 1x. And but with if you want to use the iPhone for portrait, it will automatically go to 2x, but you can actually come back to 1x. And not just that, if you go in any picture, let's suppose I go to a picture like this, it also retains the information of portrait. So in case if I want to do that in future, I can do it as well. When I do this with my Pixel, it doesn't work as great. So let's suppose, let me just open a picture and I'll show you. I was taking a picture yesterday, so this is unknown portrait picture, but when I go into edit, I'll also show you like how slow it is. This is what I was talking about. This editing is really slow and that makes me furious sometimes, but it's going to take some time. It also depends upon the picture as well. Then it gives you the portrait mode, and when I click on that, this is after editing. It's not very fast. It doesn't have the information it's doing via AI. This doesn't work really good. As you can see, this is not the best example of using that portrait. So I know a lot of people say that it's there, but having that information inside the photo is a much better win for iPhone 15. Otherwise, the skin tones on both of these phones has been a mixed bag for me. Sometimes I prefer the Pixel, sometimes I prefer the iPhone, both from the rear and front camera. Not just that, even on night shots, there are a lot of times where I prefer iPhone pictures because I can see it is controlling the light much better than The Pixel, also there is no issue with the warm light with iPhone. Like it is trying to produce as real color as possible, but sometimes you'll see it's a little bit more overexposed as compared to Pixel. So it's going to be the right balance. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these phone, but Pixel will somehow will try to reduce the light no matter what. The last thing I want to discuss about is going to be the OS and ecosystem. So when it comes to customization, Android is better. When it comes to ecosystem, iOS is better. But this is not iOS versus Android video because I use them side by side and I like both of them. But it's simple. If you are young, unlike me, you're going to want more customization. The notification is better. The file system is much better on Android. But if you have a ecosystem, like if you have other Apple devices, this works seamlessly. Last week, I was using iPhone 15 with 15 Pro and they worked seamlessly. But I know you're not crazy like me using two iPhones. But if you have other Apple system, this is definitely much better because Google doesn't offer very powerful laptops or even tablets. Samsung has that, but we are talking about Pixel and iPhone here. So for that, I would pick iPhone for me, but I know for a lot of people, Android will be a better choice. But the other thing is everything is power related is going to work on this. So as a hardware, this is going to last. For software, you're going to get that 7 years of software update, but I don't think that is going to last for a long time. I know you will be expecting a clear winner between them, but that's not very easy. But if I have to pick one, I am going to pick iPhone 15 because the battery life is better on this phone, the processor is better on this phone, the ecosystem is way ahead. And even if I talk about the cameras, the combination of photos and videos will definitely be better on this phone, even though if the photos might win on Pixel. So the only problem with iPhone 15 is going to be the high refresh rate, but that's about it. Pixel 8 is a good phone, but the thing is, most of the AI feature requires the internet. So if you're traveling or the internet is weak, you're gonna get frustrated because sometimes it takes a lot of time to load and you need to upload everything on Google Photos. And even with those video boosts and everything, they need to be uploaded for Google to do their AI feature. So that's basically not a phone feature itself. See, Pixel is $100 cheaper in US and it makes sense to get this phone because you are not going to face a lot of network problem there, I'm just assuming, and the heating issues are not there. But everywhere else, the price difference is not that much. Even in India, 76,000 rupees and this is 80,000 rupees. After the discount, you might get it cheaper. But I would still think going for iPhone 15 will give you peace of mind. The service center of Apple is like everywhere. Google is not known for their services, and in India, it's basically pathetic. So for combining all of those things, iPhone makes more sense. You also have new USB-C now, so that's one of the reason a lot of people were not switching to iPhone. So I think this year that's another good thing you can do about it. See, I am a Pixel fan and I'm going to use Pixel 8 side by side with my iPhone 15 Pro. But if I have to choose only one phone, I'm definitely going with iPhone 15 because I really don't have to worry about it. Yes, the high refresh rate is a problem for some people, but most of the people that should not be a deciding factor. Do let me know what do you think about these phones. Would you choose any of them or you will go for Samsung S23? The reason I won't pick S23 is going to be the camera has gotten worse after the updates, but otherwise it's a good phone. I don't have that right now, otherwise I will make a comparison. But right now, if you have to choose one of them, which one are you going to pick? Do let me know in the comment section. You can also follow me on Twitter for frequent updates because I am usually more active there. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.